Hey, what's up guys? I got another video for my attempt 3 of Emerald Rogue's adventure, and today I'm going against Juan, the water gym leader, and this is badge number 4, so level caps at level 45, and this is without a doubt the craziest battle I've ever done in this game. Kind of my craziest battle in Pokemon period, and I'll show you why. So I lead with a Mr. Mime that I got on this current route, and I try to go for a substitute, but the Lantern goes for a Volt Switch. So I decide to look at what my options were. I lost another Pokemon during the route, so kind of, crippling myself here. I try to go for an Encore, but the Kingdra outspeeds, probably because it has Swift Swim, and kills me with a Hydro Pump. So instead, I can now go for Walrein, who is pretty bulky. I feel like I can tank a few hits. So I go and go for a Blizzard, and that Kingdra does a Hydro Pump that does almost half. A crit will kill next turn. But I was able to land my Blizzard, so I decided to go for a second one, and Juan actually decides to withdraw the Walrein. And this is because the Lantern knows Volt Switch, it can tank the Blizzard. So a pretty good move on its part. Right here, because I'm fearing the Volt Switch, I decide to switch into Dugtrio. And I predicted correctly. And right here, I can go for basically I kind of figured maybe the Lantern was Choice, and I think it is Choice, like Choice Scarf, Choice Specs, doesn't really matter. I was able to it hard switch into Quillfish, and I fought correctly and did a dig. I do not get the kill, and the Quillfish retaliates with a Waterfall. In hindsight, I probably should have just gone for the Bulldoze, and I probably could have outsped last turn, but unfortunately these things happen. So I decided to go back into Walrein, and right here I end up going for a Body Slam, which surprisingly I outspeed the Quillfish. I don't get the KO, and Quillfish hits a pretty nasty revenge, and Walrein just barely survives. So right here I kind of figured, well, I screwed up. Walrein's probably going to die, but at least I can get another knockout before I have to do that, before I have to sacrifice it. So Juan brings in his Lantern again. He has 3 more Pokemon left, and because predicting another Volt Switch, this was just a guaranteed free switch, and I was correct. And expecting it to switch again, it goes into Lapras. So Golem gets a pretty good Earthquake on it, and I decided to keep it in and go for another Earthquake, and I outspeed. I did not expect that. So Lapras gets knocked out, and his next Pokemon that he brings in is Lantern again. So what I do is I decide to keep him in and try to go for another Earthquake, just to try to knock out this ridiculous Volt Switching Lantern. And guess what? I live an Ice Beam, and I get the knockout. So Juan has 2 Pokemon left. His next Pokemon is Vaporeon. So here, I decide to go for an Explosion, just in case Vaporeon didn't outright kill the Golem. And you know what? I predicted correctly, because Vaporeon goes for Wish, I go for Explosion, so he has 1 Pokemon left, and that's his Kingdra. Right here, I decide to go into Execute. I didn't really know what it could do, and honestly, I should have just gone into Walrein, but I try to get a Sleep Powder in. The Kingdra goes for an Ice Beam, and I had a Yachi Berry, which weakens the Ice-type move, to where Execute just barely survived, but I missed the sleep powder. And right here was when I was like, you know what? I made a good attempt, and these things happen. You know, this run is done. So another Ice Beam knocks out the Execute, and I bring in the last Pokemon, a Walrein, at 19 HP against a Kingdra, which its Hydro Pump has shown to do about 60 damage. So I go for a Blizzard, just, you know, why not? And to my surprise, the Kingdra goes for an Ice Beam, not Hydro Pump. And the thing is, this Walrein has Thick Fat, so the Ice Beam is not doing that much damage, is even doing less damage. And I get the Freeze, but it does Defrost on the next turn, but it just goes for another Ice Beam, and I lived again. It's only doing 6 damage to me. This was outrageous, and I think it's just bad AI or something, but I'll take it. But this was the craziest match I've ever done, and this run still lives. That was crazy.